Hello, and welcome to the Worst Movie Podcast. I'm Ade.
And I'm Aaron, and this is a podcast where we watch the worst movies ever made in the hopes of finding a hidden gem.
Enjoy. So what have you been watching lately?
I just rewatched Capote this weekend.
Yeah.
Or last weekend. I don't know why I said this weekend. Yeah, last weekend I watched Capote. I don't think I've seen that since it came out.
Yeah.
But it was great still all this time later.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, really? I don't know anything about, I have never seen or read Breakfast at Tiffany's. I don't know anything about Capote the man. But, Philip Seymour Hoffman is so good in that.
Yeah, he's
just got sucked in.
Yeah. PSH is incredible, and I've almost watched it several times because of that, but just my hatred of biopics. I think it's a different kind of biopic, to be fair. So maybe I wouldn't hate it as much, but it was just one of those movies that felt like a chore, and I never pulled the trigger.
It's nice in the sense that it's not an origin story at all. It just drops you into a moment in his life, and when he's writing a book, and it's far better than like the other biopics that try to fit an entire person's lifetime into 2 hours. So,
right.
Yeah, I liked it. It was really good.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll have to visit that sometime soon.
I think you have to. You watched The Master, right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's no more of a chore than that.
Yeah. I've actually wanted to rewatch The Master. I've kind of gone through a bunch of Paul Thomas Anderson movies lately, but yeah, I mean, the Master isn't really a biopic, though. It's kind of
no, it's like loosely based.
Yeah,
yeah.
Officially not a biopic, I guess.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
This is 2 weeks in a row that we've touched on Scientology.
Oh yeah.
And how did it come up last week?
Right, it was Tom Cruise jumping on the couch.
Oh yeah,
we were talking about that for Gigli.
Yeah,
I almost called it Jiggly.
I'm going to spoil the transition because we're covering a Tom Cruise movie today. But yes, to answer your question, what have I been watching lately? I've been rewatching Flight of the Conchords. Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah, some. I didn't watch. It was only like 2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons.
Yeah, I've maybe seen all of it then, but not in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time either. I knew season 1 really well, and I feel like I couldn't imagine that this was possible, but suspected that maybe I missed part of season 2. But yeah, I've been rewatching it. Love it. Still funny. Laugh out loud. There's so many I don't know, just great comedy writing in that.
The actor who plays their agent or their boss or whoever that guy is.
Murray is the name of the character. I forget right now the name. His real name.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
I feel like everything I've seen him in, he's been the funniest part of it.
Oh, I did want to. Almost forgot to mention it, but it was funny. There's such a great supporting cast, and all this show came out 20 years ago, so much younger. But the boss from Geely, Lewis, was in one of the episodes of Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, really?
He plays. I don't know if you remember, but there's the 2 band members get mugged, and they develop a relationship with these. But he's like one of the muggers. He's like a monster guy. So
it's like The Town. Do you remember? Have you seen the movie The Town?
Yeah, I've seen The Town.
They rob the bank, and he forms a relationship with one of the tellers.
Yeah, I recently put The Town on my rewatch list. It's been probably 10 years since I've seen it. I don't know, maybe more recent, but
I think I've maybe seen it in the last 5.
Yeah.
And it still holds up. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner is incredible in that movie.
Yeah, he is. Great guess.
Yeah.
Well, you ready to jump into Cocktail?
I guess so.
Well, this month is Rotten Romance Month, and happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
recording this on Valentine's Day. Taking a break from your day full of romance to record a podcast.
Amanda and I are not Valentine's Day people. We've never celebrated it. It's a Hallmark holiday. We don't care. But
look at you, so enlightened and anti-countercultural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I won't be told how to act. I won't be told when to love Amanda.
You do you. Well, we're celebrating on the podcast anyway, and we're going to cover Cocktail from 1988, starring Tom Cruise, Brian Brown, and Elizabeth Shue. It had a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, which really surprised me because
me too.
Yeah, I felt like this was one of Tom Cruise's essential movies, and was I don't know, widely.
This came out the same year as Rain Man, right?
I didn't write this a note, but I looked at this. I feel like Tom Cruise kind of had the problem that we were talking about Will Ferrell on the Bewitched podcast, because this was sandwiched in between just some absolute bangers.
Yeah. Holy shit. I'm looking at he had The Outsiders, Risky Business, All the Right Moves, Top Gun, Color of Money, then Cocktail. Same year, Rain Man came out, then Born on the 4th of July, Days of Thunder, A Few Good Men, The Firm, Interview with the Vampire, and then the first Mission Impossible takes him through 96. And then he's still got Eyes Wide Shut, Magnolia.
Yeah.
Yeah. What an incredible decade and a half.
Yeah, but even narrowing the window down to just 2 years, it's sandwiched in between. So Rain Man and Born on the 4th of July were right after this movie, and then before was Color of Money and Top Gun, which I don't know if Top Gun was an award winner, but the other three I mentioned were Academy Award winners. This is jumping out a little bit, but I think Cocktail, Tom Cruise has the honor of being the first and only actor to star in a Worst Picture Razzie winner and a Best Picture Oscar winner in the same year.
Was this the Worst Picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
interesting.
And Rain Man was the Best Picture winner that year. So it just it doesn't feel like as bad of a movie as some of the movies we've covered. 9% is kind of shocking. It did really well in the box office. $20 million budget, $170 million the box office.
Yeah, it did incredible. Yeah. I think this is the best worst movie we've watched. I feel the most okay about this one. I have my problems with it, but at the end I wasn't like, oh, that was horrible.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising. I should admit we kind of cheated. This isn't really a rom-com. Would you call this a rom-com?
I don't know. I was just gonna say that I don't feel like this is a very romantic movie, but there's a lot of romance in it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. The romance to me is not very believable. Any of the characters getting together.
Yeah.
I don't know. We will get into that later, I guess. It wasn't very romantic.
Do you want to give a quick synopsis?
Yeah. Tom Cruise plays Brian Flanagan, who just got out of the army, and he's the most ambitious man the 80s ever produced. He is going to make $1 million, and he realizes that he is really underqualified for all the high-paying jobs in New York. So he gets a job at a bar to pay for college, and kind of becomes the understudy of this older bartender. It's, what do they call it? Flair bartending.
Yeah, flair bartending.
Yeah, and it's all about that, and then his dream becomes he wants to open his own bar and become a big celebrity bartender, which I don't know if that exists, but
You know, are there any of the celebrity bartenders you can name right now?
no, I couldn't name a single one. I don't even, like, I was watching this movie and I'm like, does flair bartending still exist? I'd be so mad if I had to watch all that to get a drink.
Yeah, I guess we should describe for the flair bartending is where people are just like the bartenders are flipping bottles and doing like behind the back tricks and all that. So it's
Yeah,
more
it's
of
a
a show.
show.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's got to be very narrow. Like, uh, I in the research, or I mean, I don't half-ass research, but basically, it sounded like Tom Cruise learned how to do this, and uh, it was a little bit confusing, but the guy who taught him how to do it, um, basically was like, you would never do this at a real bar because you're gonna drop, like, there's just the potential for glass shattering and like injuring customers and just creating like an unsafe environment.
Yeah.
So like he had to learn with a lot of like plastic bottles and stuff like that. And I think some of the shots were with that because they just kept dropping stuff on set. Like you, I mean,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of coordination and luck.
They
And
were good at it.
yeah,
Uh, I did think it was funny that when he got hired by this bartender, the bartender is talking about how thin the margins are and like how to do like a, a light pour or whatever,
yeah.
and then they're flinging bottles everywhere, and you see like booze just spraying everywhere. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
wasting so much.
Yeah, and it seems like you also slow down the whole like act of, like you're losing so much money by wasting a bunch of time doing all this flair stuff. But yeah, I like that part. So it was set up as like flair bartending is essentially a way to distract the customer that you're like giving them shitty cocktails, which
Yeah,
kind of makes sense. You're like doing all this hand wavy stuff that makes it seem like you're
yeah,
pouring the drink, but you're just filling it up with like soda water and stuff.
yeah. The ice is melting in the glass.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, that was kind of fun to watch. I had a bunch of questions. So this is the flair bartending, at least the first part of this was set at TGI Fridays. Was TGI Fridays like this in the 80s? I mean,
What? What was the TGI Fridays connection?
that was where this was set. Like that was the bar
That was the bar.
where he was hired by Coughlin. Yeah.
I completely missed that.
Yeah, it said it on the like there were several shots of TGI Fridays and they had the striped red, whatever. And um
Huh. I don't know. I didn't catch that. I would love to know if that's what TGI Fridays was like. It's no
yeah,
wonder they went out of business.
I mean it's still around. It's yeah, it filed for bankruptcy a couple years ago, but it still operates more than 380 locations.
AI
So,
says TGI Fridays played a significant role in the 1988 film Cocktail, with the restaurant serving as a key inspiration and training ground for the movie's iconic flair bartending scenes. Tom Cruise trained with TGI Fridays bartenders to master the moves, and scenes were filmed at a New York City location. So, yep. Uh, why is
oh yeah.
TGI Fridays the expert on flair bartending in 1988? That must have been.
I mean, yeah, it does seem like it was part of their business model. So I'm looking on YouTube and there's like a training video from 1991 of like them doing bottle flips and stuff like that.
That location was the original Manhattan Upper East Side TGI Fridays. It says that the movie was inspired by high energy, flare driven bartending popularized at TGI Fridays in the 80s.
Yeah.
So they were they were the impetus.
The more
I
you
did
know.
not know that.
When was the last time you were in a TGI Fridays?
I couldn't even tell you. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, it's been maybe 10, 15 years.
That's maybe the last time we might have gone together.
I feel like I've ordered a drink at a TGI Fridays before. Like I've sat at the bar, but
At a
I don't
bar,
really
in
remember
an airport, or
no, the one that used to be over here in
in Indy.
yeah, in Indy,
Huh.
like
Yeah, I don't know.
Clearwater.
I have I have no memories inside of a TGI Friday. I'm not. I'm no. I've been, but I couldn't prove it. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Have you ever worked at a bar?
No, I've I've only worked in like a pizza place that did
Yeah.
not serve alcohol.
I've never worked as a bartender or at a bar, but I kind of have this fantasy about it. Like I'd love
Oh,
to
really?
yeah, not like a extended stint, but my sister years ago used to manage at a bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, would you just hire me to be a bar back for like a week? Like, I don't know where
What is
this,
the appeal?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like from watching Cheers and just having this sense of like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, this, like, bars are, and it comes up in this movie, like, Tom Cruise's uncle owns a bar and it's like regulars there and stuff like that. And like, maybe there's just that, like, yeah, it'd be interesting to have conversations and watch people watch. And I don't know.
so I guess the difference between you and me is that you want to be Sam and I want to be Norm.
Have I told you about my Norm story?
No, I don't think so.
So I was in Boston, this was 20 years ago plus. Uh, and there are like three bars that claim to be the Cheers bar. And
Yeah,
I forget
I've been to one of them.
yeah, I forget the distinctions, but I went to one of them that I think was like supposed to be the one that Cheers was based on. It was, I mean, they all were like, we are the authentic Cheers bar. But anyway, so
Hmm.
I went to this bar and ordered a drink and was talking to this guy at the bar. And kind of like in the movie Cocktail, there's this character that's a regular at Tom Cruise's uncle's bar. And it's
Hmm.
like the uncle just has disdain for this guy. Like he's
Yeah.
just like shitting on him the whole time. And it was
Yeah.
like kind of that situation at the bar. Like it was clear, like the guy next to me was just really trying to strike up conversations with me. The bartender was like ignoring him completely. Uh, and I had, before I got the drink at the bar, they had like a little gift shop and I had bought
Mhm.
a, like, I don't know, history of Cheers or something, like a little whatever memento book.
I got a mug.
Yeah. And talking to this guy who's, I don't know, whatever. And he's like, turn to page 36 or whatever. And he's basically the guy that Norm
He's
was.
Norm.
He's Norm. And it was just so sad for me because I was like, holy shit, Norm is, one of the best characters on the show.
Yeah.
And so, so lovable. But then it's like, oh, in real life, if
This
like,
is sad.
yeah, if you came
This is
here
a
every day,
barfly.
yeah, and like the bartenders, like they're not necessarily going to have a close relationship, like, and I don't know, deep conversations with
He
you.
knows what page he's on in the gift
Yeah,
shop book.
exactly. I mean, how many tourists did he say that to?
I know.
Um,
I think
yeah,
the one I went to was the one that they used for the exterior shots where you go down the stairs, and
yeah,
I
that
think
wasn't the
that
one
was,
that, yeah,
yeah, John and I went there together.
uh,
They had to like I didn't see it. I think John maybe walked back there, but they had another room that was a different bar area. I don't think they were serving drinks there, but it was set up like the set.
yeah,
But the area that we sat in and drank in was not. It didn't look anything inside like it did on the show.
yeah. To be clear, I'd take being Norm also. I feel like I enjoy going to the same restaurants a lot, just, and that experience of people knowing you and that familiarity.
It's nice to have a routine.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten one of those bar eggs? That
No,
there's a lot of
no.
bar food and bar stuff. A lot of eggs. The Coglin's, what was it called? A red eye. We were first
Yeah,
introduced to the the older mentor of Tom Cruise, and a red eye is this. I mean, this had to have been like 8 in the morning or something like that, and he's uh,
What was it? Was it like a
Miller.
Bloody Mary with a?
Yeah,
Oh,
Miller genuine drafts, tomato juice, egg, and a bunch of aspirin.
sounds perfect.
Yeah.
I recognize that actor who played what was his name? Doug Brown? Doug? No,
Doug
Brian Brown was
Brian
the
Brown is
actor.
actor.
Doug Coughlin.
Coughlin is the name of the character.
Uh, what would I know him from? I didn't look him up yet.
So
But
so this is my alternate pick,
oh,
which I was like a little like I actually liked the movie. So I feel like alternate pick isn't really I don't know, apt, but
yeah.
he's the CEO in Along Came Polly. Who have you seen that recently? No,
I no. What did that come out like 25 years ago
yeah, it's kind of
or
old.
more?
Yeah, it's old.
I maybe saw it then.
He starred in the movie FX. I don't know if you ever saw that movie.
Nope.
Um, yeah.
Keep going.
I don't know. that was the end of my list of things I knew off the top of my head. But yeah, he looks. I mean, he looks familiar. He's been
Yeah, I swear
in a
I've
bunch
seen
of
him
things.
in stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
What'd you think about that character?
Uh, sad. It was a sad character. Yeah, I guess I should say I didn't dislike this movie. I didn't love it. Um, I thought the characters were good. I think the script was a little hokey. Um, and just my God, 80s movies are so optimistic and like eager, and it's like it almost made me sick to watch it.
Oh, really? A guy who's like, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day because
I know, and I said in an earlier podcast that I like 80s movies for that, but it was like too much in this one.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, he was like a sad, depressing character, kind of. He was like, I mean, he's what Tom Cruise's character is gonna turn into
yep.
if he stays in the game.
Yeah, it was one of the things I loved about the movie, or maybe loved is a little overstating it, but really liked a lot. Is just there were a few themes running through this that were really interesting. So Tom Cruise is 26 when he filmed this movie, thereabouts, and Brown Coughlin is 42, and they don't really say their ages in the movie, but just roughly, that's those the ages that the characters are playing, and it's
Yeah,
and Coughlin is so we were first introduced to Coughlin through and where he utters something about Coughlin's law, and I forget what his first law is that he shares with Tom
he
Cruise,
has a
but
million of Coughlin's
yeah,
laws.
but throughout the movie he's like sharing this wisdom
He's a
that's
mentor.
yeah that's labeled as Coughlin's laws, and he's it's like the first few minutes or the first few scenes, I felt like it's kind of like what who a teenager would think is cool, or like
Yeah,
in your early 20s, you're like you get to work at a bar, all these like hot
yeah,
chicks around, and uh,
yeah.
and
Sleep
he's just
during the
like,
day. What a
yeah,
badass.
yeah, and then as you get older, you're like, oh, this is what a person looks like who thinks he knows everything and is still
Yeah,
stuck in this job, and has no real friends, and yada yada yada, and um, yeah, it goes through kind of the arc of Coughlin's journey.
yeah.
Like he's also trying to make it and get rich, and he's a little bit more cynical than Tom Cruise, but yeah, I don't know. I thought he was an interesting character, and their relationship was really interesting.
Yeah, I liked the two of them. My biggest problem with the movie is the romantic side of it is
Yeah,
that like ultimately both of these guys are losers. Like they're kind of losers a little bit. Like I mean, Tom Cruise is super ambitious, but he's unqualified for everything,
Yeah.
and he's just like got nothing really going for him. And then Coughlin's the older version of himself, and for some reason, there's all of these rich, successful women that like can't resist them,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why again this? Why are these losers, these assholes, the Ben Affleck and Geely, like why can they pull these incredible women that would really have nothing to do with them?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I said it's like
Mhm.
there's a lot of romance, or there's romance in this, but it's not romantic. Like there's a
Yeah.
love story all throughout this movie, but I didn't feel anything for the couples.
Yeah. I don't think we've mentioned this is based on a novel. So the writer on the movie wrote a novel a few years prior, I think also called Cocktail, that was based on his experience as a bartender in New York.
Is
As
he
he was,
Tom Cruise?
yeah,
Of course.
basically, I think yeah, he was, Tom Cruise is modeled off of his experience, but I think all the characters are composites of different people that he met. So I don't think it was like it definitely wasn't an autobiography or anything like that. It was fictional. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, Coughlin ends up marrying this rich woman that it sounded like a lot of her backstory was cut for the movie, and the novel was a lot darker than the movie. So, I mean, to your point in terms of like 80s movies, and especially start once like Tom Cruise got involved, it was like,
Yeah.
I think, Tom doesn't really play a lot of like dark characters. He
Yeah.
wants to be liked by the audience.
It's all teeth and confidence.
Yeah. So a lot of that was cut too, but yeah, to answer your question about or your criticism about the relationships, like, yeah, Coughlin ends up with this woman and it's not really explained, but she is a little twisted in the movie. Like she tries to hook up with Tom Cruise, and it seems like she has some like CD backstory. So it's not like they're ending up with these women that are actually. I mean, Elizabeth Shue plays uh, Tom's later romantic interest. Gina Gershon plays like the first one. She seems a little twisted too. like she's not. I don't know. She's not all there and wholesome and
Yeah.
upstanding. So yeah,
It's
I don't
true.
know. There's a lot of toxicity in the relationships, I should say, in this movie.
Yeah. I would
Uh,
agree.
Speaking of Gina Gershon, what was going on in that sex scene between her and Tom Cruise?
I don't know.
it,
uh, yeah,
it,
it's a theme in this podcast of bad movies having the worst sex scenes I've ever seen. Like it was just thrashing and giggling and
under
then
the sheets.
yeah, rolling off the bed.
Yeah. At one point, Tom pokes his head out to drink from a champagne bottle, and she like pulls him back into the sheets, and it's just like a bunch of like they're not.
It's like cats playing under the sheet.
Yeah, they're not lined up in a way that makes any sort of biological sense.
Yeah.
I did read
And they
that.
weren't sex sounds that were coming out either. It was like laughs and giggling
Yeah,
and
I
whatever
did
else.
read that he was tickling her in real life during one of the takes, and that was part of one of the takes that they used.
That would make sense. That's what it seemed like.
I don't remember, but didn't Tom have a really weird sex scene with Jennifer Connelly and the Top Gun recently? It was like a bunch of pillow fighting and stuff. Like maybe that's just his
I don't
like,
remember that.
um, yeah, I don't know. Uh, I
Maybe
have
that's
to
his
pay
thing.
attention to Tom Cruise's sex scenes going forward.
Well, you watched Eyes Wide Shut. How was that?
I mean, there's nothing. Uh, uh, what's the right word for it? But typical in the sex scenes in Eyes Wide Shut.
There's no vanilla sex in it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
um, yeah. So anyway, basically, Coughlin and Tom Cruise's character have a falling out. Tom ends up in Jamaica to earn a bunch of easy money, I guess, bartending,
Yeah.
and meets Elizabeth Shue's character, who they fall in love, have a relationship, and then Coughlin shows up and
He cheats on her over a dare.
yeah, yeah, it was I don't know, what'd you think about that?
I don't know. I thought that so the reason he went to Jamaica and the falling out that he had with Coughlin was over his Tom Cruise's girlfriend at the time. He just like Coughlin just starts making out with her at the bar, and it seemed really sudden because like all of the scenes up to this were Tom Cruise and her happy together, and then she's just kissing his coworker at the bar, and I was like, where did that come from? And so they have
Yeah.
their falling out,
He
and then
said
he goes,
something to her. Coughlin like whispered something to her before that happened, and I did make a note like, what did he say to Gina? Like, yeah,
yeah, it was really weird that she would cheat on him and that Doug would like Coughlin, I keep calling him Doug, would be into it. I didn't understand that.
it just seemed like a power move because it was one of his laws. I forget, like never, I don't know, trust a woman or like
Yeah.
something like that he wanted to basically teach Tom Cruise a lesson that to not get attached.
Yeah. And then he goes to Jamaica and meets this other girl that he's fallen in love with, and everything's going great. And then just, and Coughlin shows up to tell him that he's married and they're on their honeymoon there. And then just on a dare, like Coughlin dares him to like take home this woman, and he does. I'm like, well, why? You have a girlfriend. Why would you do that? And so
Yeah,
it just felt sudden, like there was no signs of trouble, and then they just like cheat on each other. It felt
yeah,
strange.
yeah. I thought it was yeah. For me, I thought it made a little bit of sense. I mean, it was strange, but just because the relationship between Tom Cruise and Coughlin again, like,
It's a little
was
competitive.
yeah, it was complex. Like, I think he hated him for probably what he like his fear of what his life could turn into if he
Hmm.
didn't find success, but he also loved him and attached like and Coughlin knew too that like basically he had him. He was like, I bet you a bottle of, you know, this expensive liquor that you're going to come work for me in 3 months. And sure enough, he
Yeah.
did. Like, he just knows that your life's going to turn out this way.
He probably sees himself in Tom Cruise's character a lot.
Yeah. And vice versa. Like,
Yeah.
Tom sees himself and he hates that part of it, um, and I think Coughlin liked Tom because what he saw in him that he liked, that
Yeah.
he liked about himself. And so they have this really, yeah, weird, you know, complex relationship.
Yeah. There were a lot of points in this movie that I felt um big chunks of story must have been edited out.
Yeah.
Or just not ever shot because it's hard to adapt a novel and you have to leave some stuff out. And so I feel like there was a lot of complex relationship stuff that wasn't in the movie. There was then they maybe filled it with slinging drinks and
Yeah. The flair of bartending was added for the movie. I don't think that was in the novel.
oh really?
Yeah. Or if it
Was
was, it
the
was a small part of it.
was the bar top poetry part of the
I don't know. I did wonder about that. Yeah, there's this really hot club in Manhattan, and then some guy just all of a sudden shows up under a spotlight and reciting poetry, and everyone's really into it. And Tom Cruise gets up and recites his own poem.
yeah,
Uh,
about drinks, about being a bartender.
I would be really weirded out if I was at a nightclub and they just
Yeah.
started reciting poetry.
Yeah, they didn't explain why that was happening or what it was about. Like, was he a poet before he became a bartender, or did he write this?
It didn't seem so. Like, I mean, he was a military guy, and they didn't
He was
explain
fresh
any.
out of the army.
Uh, yeah, I don't know if that was another '80s thing. Like, have you ever been to like a poetry slam? Or it made
No.
me realize that there's so many scenes in movies where like you're at a coffee shop or bar and people are reciting poetry, and I feel like maybe I've been to one, but I couldn't swear to it. Maybe I just
I
feel
think it must have happened a lot more in the day
yeah.
than it does now.
People were like, "Shut up! I'm trying to watch the game."
Bookstores and coffee shops are like sterile, sad places now.
Yeah. Uh, True. Yeah, I feel like I've been to a poetry reading, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just it's like merged with all these TV and movie scenes that I feel like that's happened before.
Was it 22 Jump Street that had the slam poetry scene with Jonah Hill?
I don't
You,
remember.
my God, it's so funny. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
I mean, I've seen the
He's
movie. It's just been like I think I've only seen it once.
he's trying to flirt with a girl, and she takes him to a slam poetry thing, and she like signs him up to to perform or whatever, and he hasn't prepared anything, and so he
Yeah.
just ad libs slam poetry, and it's really funny.
We used to watch Def Poetry Jam all the time. I used to love that. Did you ever watch that show?
Never even heard of it.
Really? It was
How old is this?
it was the early 2000s. It was on HBO. It was Russell
Oh,
Simmons, Mos Def hosted it.
we did not have cable or HBO in those days.
Loser.
We were still on dial up and broadcast TV.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the movie. So yeah, slam poetry. Yeah, can you actually, can you think of a poem on the spot? Like it did seem like yeah, at the end his wife Elizabeth, she was like, or no, it was like the audience like, give us a poem, and he stands up and gives a poem like that. I don't think people can do that. Like you have to be writing poetry a lot. So like,
They were long poems too.
yeah, I,
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to recite one.
I mean, if you go to every bartender in the city and say, "Give us a poem," I think you'll get zero poems on the spot.
You'll get somebody that does it.
Yeah, I mean, but they'll be remembering a poem. They're not. They're not gonna.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, they're not gonna
He's not
like.
write a poem on the spot.
Yeah.
Recite a fresh one.
One of the things I did want to talk about is the other. I mentioned earlier a couple of themes. So like the relationship between him and his mentor, but then also we've touched on it. Just his like ambition and
Yeah.
drive was really interesting to me. You know, we don't have to put me on the therapist couch, but I related to this a
I
lot.
feel like you've laid down on the couch willingly yourself here, but let's.
We'll edit all this stuff out. But one of my favorite scenes is when he's talking to Elizabeth Shue in Jamaica about the drink umbrella.
Yeah. How we're
And
surrounded by millionaires.
yeah, he's like, there's a guy that makes these, and he's pointing the drink umbrella, and he's like, there's a guy who makes the little like plastic tip on your shoelaces, the
Mm-hmm.
flugel binder, probably what it's called, what he names it.
Yeah.
And the his quote is roughly, "You take a bar job to keep your days free for your real gig. Days get shorter and shorter, nights get longer and longer. Life is just one long night with a few comatose daylight hours," and basically like his life slipping away as he's like trying to
Yeah.
make money to fuel his dreams. And I feel like yeah, man, especially my younger days could relate with that. Like it's like everywhere you look, there's some story about some guy getting rich from, the jump to conclusions mat or whatever.
The guy
Office.
made $1 million.
Yeah. And I mean, even more so today with social media, it just feels like everyone's just, fucking making money in
Yeah.
some get rich quick scheme, and you're toiling around. And so anyway, I love that part of this movie. And I felt like it was very, I mean, that was thematically relevant in the 80s, I think,
Yeah.
where everyone felt like everyone was getting rich. And I think,
Reaganomics.
yeah, it's certainly a thing now.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked a lot of the themes and the dialogue of this movie. I just feel like there was a lot of like heart left out of it that like I couldn't connect to. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff about ambition and like unchecked ambition and whether that trumps morality in a lot of cases. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good movie. It was not. I kind of feel like it shouldn't be on the 9%. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's not a 9% movie.
Yeah, and I didn't dig too deep into the criticisms, but it did seem like a lot of the criticism was it's not as good as a book, which I just feel like that's bullshit. Like, of course not.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's just hard to adapt
You've got
both.
300 pages to tell the story.
Yeah, and there was a lot of criticism, it seemed like, from uh people who had apparently read the book, and not only was it not good, but just criticized it for not being as dark as the book, which I don't know. It was an enjoyable movie, and that's fine. Like that's
Yeah.
uh yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like a 9%. It wasn't. I mean, we've covered way worse movies that have done better on, and some of that may be like Rotten Tomatoes when it's
Yeah.
like pre movies that came out before Rotten Tomatoes launched, like
Yeah.
the way they like uh gather reviews and stuff like that, maybe it skews the number.
Hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't there weren't any actors that I was like, oh, that a few over the top moments and stuff like, but it wasn't like terrible acting, terrible writing, terrible story compared to some of the ones we've covered.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a problem with any of it other than it seems like, stuff got edited out or left out. And
Yeah.
I don't fault the movie for that.
Uh, can we talk about quotes for a few minutes?
Yeah.
There are a lot of great Coughlin lines.
I only two quotes that I remembered from this movie are the one you gave and another one that I really liked from Tom Cruise later in the movie, but you can go ahead.
You go ahead, and then I'll do the Coughlin ones.
Uh, he's breaking up with one of his girlfriends, and she says something like, it doesn't have to end like this or whatever, and he was like, everything has to end badly, otherwise it wouldn't end. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a
Yeah,
deep
that is
thought
pretty.
from a young lad.
Yeah, that is pretty deep.
Yeah.
Not deep. Here's some Coughlin line. After Tom Cruise's first day on the job, he says to Coughlin, "The waitresses hate me." And Coughlin goes, "Well, wait until you've given them crabs, then you'll really know hatred."
That's funny.
Yeah. Beers for breakfast around here. Drink or be gone.
Yeah, I loved beers for breakfast.
I think I was maybe it was Mad Men I was watching recently, and somebody was talking about. Oh yeah, they were talking to somebody who. Have you finished season 2? I know you've watched it before, but
I'm not done with it. I mean, I've seen it before. I'm not done with it on my rewatch. I'm about halfway.
yeah, I guess I mean this is spoiling season 2 of Mad Men, but they Freddie Rumsfeld pisses himself in the office, and they have to fire him, and they're like telling him to go to rehab, and basically like you can come back and just drink beer or something like that.
The 60s.
Yeah, but and the 80s, I guess, where it's like beer is not real alcohol. I don't know.
Well,
I know
that
that's dark, but I
character,
find it funny.
he's Australian too, so maybe that's what they do in Australia.
Yeah. This is a quote from, I guess, yeah, this is from Tom Cruise's uncle. "Now you ought to know better than to come to a bartender for advice."
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, the rest are Coughlin quotes. Proctologist, proctologist dream, wall to wall assholes.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, there was such good dialogue in this movie.
"It hasn't breathed in 50 years. It's dead. Let us drink it."
Let us drink it.
And then his last line, I think, "The luck is gone, the brain is shot, but the liquor we still got."
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that character in the sense that like he's not a very very likable person, but
No,
I think he
the
made
writing was
movie.
great.
Yeah.
And the performance was good. What did you rate this? What would you rate this on your
I gave
Letterboxd?
I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, it's way better than Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I've seen parts of this movie on TV over the years, but
Yeah.
never fully. And I always thought it was like a big hit. I mean, it made a ton of money,
Yeah.
but when I found out it was 9%, I was like, I gotta watch this because something doesn't add up here.
yeah, I could even be convince myself that it's a 4 star. I think yeah, I think my credit it does get a little choppy towards the end, and I like the story, but I feel like yeah, Elizabeth his relationship with Elizabeth Shue kind of gets like I don't know, it comes together a little too quickly, and I ultimately like the storyline, and she you know she ends up like at the I guess she uh leaves her family who doesn't want her to end up with Tom Cruise
Yeah,
because
she comes from a really wealthy family.
yeah, and he's just a bartender, and you know, yeah, but um yeah, I think that's probably a weaker part of the movie. It's not bad, it's not terrible, but um yeah, I mean there are a few things that are like just a little choppy and maybe not perfect.
Yeah, I again, like I didn't love this movie, but I feel like my criticisms are nitpicks of it, and
Yeah, same.
yeah, it was not bad actually. I was pleasantly surprised. Man,
Uh
watching Mad Men and this, I am not a smoker, but I was like, damn, smoking. I would go for a cigarette right now.
oh yeah, it is dangerous with Mad Men. I feel like
Yeah. God, they make
uh
it look good.
yeah. My last note on this movie is I didn't realize until I after I watched this, but the Beach Boys song Kokomo was made for this movie.
Really?
Yeah. The
Huh.
the music video is like scenes from Cocktail.
Interesting. From when he was down in Jamaica?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there
And
was a
also
whole like the middle part of the movie he was in Jamaica, which felt a little strange. Like it was kind of disjointed, I thought, but
yeah.
uh I did not know that about the Beach Boys.
And I was watching a bit of the Kokomo music video, and I was like, "Is that John Stamos on the drums?" And it was. I didn't know that
Oh,
John
Un-
Stamos is
Uncle
part of the Beach
Jesse.
Boys. So
Yeah. Wait, who
um,
was their original drummer? Why was he not there?
I don't know. John Stamos is the only Beach Boys person I can name. I don't know much about the Beach Boys,
You don't
but
know Brian Wilson?
oh yeah, I know that name. Yes. If you
Uh, if I what?
if you would have said who is Brian Wilson, the musician, I probably would have told you. But I yeah,
Yeah, I feel like
I
he
forgot.
was just sitting in for that because he's not listed as a uh, current or past member of
No,
the Beach Boys.
I read that he performs with them a lot, or he did for a while.
The name Stamos doesn't bring back any hits on their wiki page.
It does on his page, so uh,
Mm.
maybe he wants to be more.
He's in there editing his own
He has a
former
whole section.
member of the Beach Boys,
He has a whole section on his Wikipedia titled Beach Boys.
the
So yeah,
greatest drummer who ever lived, and the coolest uncle.
yeah. Um, what are your alternate picks?
I picked The Color of Money, also
Oh yeah,
starring Tom Cruise and Paul Newman. Similar mentor mentee storyline,
yeah.
just around billiards. It's the sequel to The Hustler,
Mm-hmm.
which I talked about a few episodes ago.
Yeah, I love The Color of Money.
Yeah, very good movie. Did you
Man,
pick?
I should have picked that for my alt pick. I felt like I was looking at all the Tom Cruise movies, and I maybe I get too much in my head about all picks. I'm like, I should pick a movie that like is a little
You're the
more
only
obscure.
person who's ever seen it.
Well, no, not the only. I mean, not the only person,
There is
but
this art house film. It's French. It's from
Le
1964.
Couleur de la. Uh, ideally, I want to pick an alt pick that you haven't seen. Um, you know, but
Uh,
yeah, I feel like Color of Money is well known, so I don't know. But yeah, I was looking through Tom Cruise, and I'm like, there's no Tom Cruise movie that is not like a
he's too huge a
blockbuster.
star.
Yeah, he's huge. So that's why I ended up with Along Came Polly because I was like, okay, let me go down everybody else's. Like Elizabeth Shue, I was like, I don't know, like there are no movies on hers that like I loved. I
Yeah.
enjoyed The Saint. I need to rewatch that. And
Is that the Val Kilmer?
yeah, and Leaving Las Vegas, I feel like is well known, but
Yeah.
and then Gina Gershon, I already mentioned Bound uh, on our Showgirls episode.
Yeah.
So
Showgirls. What a good one.
yeah, that was more than 9%. That's like there's no way this movie's worse than Showgirls.
No, not a chance.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's about all I have.
That's all I got.
Thanks for listening. And if you have any feedback, comments, please send us an email at theworstmoviepodcast@gmail.com. Haven't checked our email in a while. So maybe our inbox is full.
Yeah, maybe we've got thousands and thousands of fans now. We
Well,
just didn't even know it.
I just pulled it up. I think Gmail must be broken. I'll have to check out that. Your primary tab is empty.
You need to contact support, tell them you're not getting our emails.
Maybe it's going to spam. Spam filter is too good. Well, if you don't email us, like or subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen. I'm Ade.
I'm Aaron. Thanks for listening to the Worst Movie Podcast.